Harpy, Lunalight, and Unchained, all easy to climb decks in the Platinum. Don't be like the 33.8% of you guys have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can get higher and higher. Yeah, I want to get to 150,000. So the first list we're going to be looking at here is Harpy Ladies. Now, for those of you that have kind of kept an eye on Harpies, you would know this deck is actually semi-competent right now for being an actually good, scary deck to kind of mess with the opponent's strategies, and that's because this card exists. If you control a Wing Beast monster until the end of this turn, negate any monster effects your opponent activates. If you control a Harpy monster, you can activate this from your hand. So on your turn, if your opponent tries to max see you, Ash Blossom you, you slam this bad boy on the table, say no to your opponent. On your opponent's turn, your opponent can't play the game. And then, if this card in its owner's spell and trap card zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you get to add a Harpies Feather Duster from your deck or graveyard back to your hand. I love the fact that this card actually has that additional utility going for it here. We don't really see that all that much, that you get such a powerful card, and then in addition, you get even more power out of it, all right? So keep in mind, your centralized win con is going to be Harpies it's Harpies Feather or Storm here. So we have triple copies of basic vanilla Harpy Lady. Now you can play some of the other ones, like Harpy Lady 1 that has the ability to act and mimic as a Harpy Lady. But remember that that name really does destroy some of the deck strategy here. So we are focusing on the fact that this also works with Unexpected Die here, so you can pull this out of the deck for your strategy. Now we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. You gotta love the hand trap applications these days, ladies and gentlemen. One copy of Barrier Statue Stormwinds. This will actually be something you'll be pulling out of your deck down here with some Morgue, so you can actually detour and laugh at your opponent. And then they can't really do anything, because having a free Barrier Statue that says neither player can splash summon except for wind monsters really messes up the opponent's day. We have one copy of Harpy Queen, giving you the ability to search for the old hunting grounds. All right, we only play one of this, by the way. Not trying to get too crazy with this. Now we have triple Harpy Channeler here, discarding Harpy, special summon a Harpy monster from your deck. We're not playing the dragon anymore. You're going to get way more utility out of pretty much the rest of your deck, actually, now. We have triple copies of Harpist. Then we have triple copies of Perfumer. And then we have two copies of Oracle. Oracle's not as good as it used to be. Now we're playing triple copies of Elegant Egotist, because special summoning any Harpy Lady monster, it's just getting an additional body on the field. It's what you really care about with this. It's going to allow your Synchro/Exceed plays to be all the better. We have one Harpies Feather Duster. No, back row. Not today. We have one Expected Die for special summoning our Harpy Lady to start combo. We have one Harpies Feather Rest. We have triple copies Pot of Prosperity for filtering for better options here. We have one copy of Harpies Hunting Ground. As I said, do not try to play more of this. All right, you're going to run into issues. We have triple Hysteric Sign. We have one copy of Swallow's Nest for the quick special summon extra damage. And then, of course, we have the one copy of Double or Nothing. You're playing a rank 4 toolbox, which means that you can cheese OTK with Utopia Double for 10,000 damage over something. Not bad. We have triple copies of Harpies Featherstorm. We have triple copies of Infinite Permanence for hand traps. Then we have the two copies of the Cyber / Harpy Lady. This gives you the ability to use any of your Harpy monsters as a tuner so that you can make this. It becomes Harpy Lady, alright? And when a spell or trap card or effect is activated, quick effect, target one monster your opponent controls or one Harpy monster you control, alright? So, and then return it to your hand. Not too bad of a card. This card's actually pretty unique for this deck. We have one Utopia, one Abyss Dweller, the one Lightning Cheatery, the one Zero Find, the one good old Phantasmal Dragon. For you old players, you'll know how cool this card was. We have one Utopia Double, one Zeus. We have one Imduke. Alright, remember you can make this through the Harpy. One Pentastag for cheese Gosh, the fact you can actually do trample damage through Utopia through the Utopia Double is pretty hilarious. We have one Harpy Conductor, the one Frigette, the one Simorg, and the one Access Code Machine, wrapping up essentially Harpy Toolbox, kind of give you guys some interesting options you can kind of mess around with for this deck. All right, it's worth it. Now next up is Lunalight here, and this is actually Nazari's list. Nazari made it to Plat 1 with this build, and tore all the way through the competition to get here. But the fact that Lunalight Tiger is unrestricted, which means that you can do all of the Lunalight combos that you want, fully unrestricted, alright? So, keep in mind, as I said, this card's not a once per turn, and that's actually why this card is so absurd, alright? So, Duelist got to make it all the way to Plat 1 playing his favorite deck. It really says something about this game. So we have triple copies of Droll and Lockbird, triple copies of Max C, alright? Yes, we are very hand trap happy, alright? You can't tell you how unfun some of those meta matchups is. We have one copy of the Lunalight Black Sheep. We have triple copies of Not Once Per Turn Friend. We have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have one copy of the Lunalight Blue Cat, triple copies of Kaleido Chick, two copies of the Lunalight Emerald Bird, and then we have two copies of Yellow Martin, and two copies of the Lunalight Wolf. I can tell you that this deck's skill curve is so much higher, especially when it's not being used as a sub-engine. Then we have one Hard Polymerization, one Foolish Barrel, triple copies of the Lunalight Perfume, triple copies of Foolish Barrel Goods, two copies of Lunalight Fusion, one copy of Lightning Storm, triple copies of Tenki for searchability. Gotta love those Beast Warriors. We have two copies of Cosmic Cyclone for removal, two copies of Forbidden Droplet, one red reboot. Actually, this was specifically said because Eldritch was such a problem that we opted to main this so that when you would see this, you'd be able to break your opponent's board super easy. Like, what's an Eldritch player going to do? Solemn Judgment the darn thing? Alright, Eldritch is flipping up so many trap cards at this point in time. It's actually insanity, alright? And then we have the one copy of the Lunalight Serenade Dance, wrapping up the main deck. Now we have one copy of Cat Dancer, two copies of the Panther Dancer, one copy of the Saber Dancer, two copies of Leo Dancer. Then we have one Abyss Dweller, one copy of the Tiger King here, one Baguski, one copy of Underclock Taker, one copy of Barricade Borg Blocker, one copy of Frigette, one copy of Apollosa, one copy of Access Code, and then we actually have one copy of Shirag the Omen here, wrapping up Lunalights. Now remember, this whole deck's base strategy here. You want to climb up into your Lunalight fusions. These are going to basically be your centralized win cons for you to do things. And then you have stupid cards like this that can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects and cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Boss monsters generally like this are the reason why decks like this can find success, and especially in Master Duel here, to being no exception to making it to the current highest ranking in this season. And the last list I actually have for you guys here is actually Unchained. Now, Unchained, this is basically Coder's baby. This deck lost really nothing. It actually gained so much in the form of skill drain here, because now this deck can actually stand up to the metagame and laugh at the opponent. And I think that that's actually insanity at the end of the day, that this deck only got better. Alright, so this deck is the master of floatability. Alright, so we have triple copies of Max C. We have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have triple copies of Aruha, triple copies of Rikia, triple copies of Sarama, and then we have one copy of the Unchained Soul of Disaster, and then we have triple copies of the Unchained Abomination. Then we have triple copies of Pot of Extravagance. Your extra deck is just pretty much straight 3-ofs for this build. Then we have triple copies of Abomination's Prison, triple copies of Torrential Tribute, because free floatability is your entire deck's gimmick. We have triple copies of Escape of the Unchained, triple copies of Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. Then we have triple copies of Skill Drain, and triple copies of There Can Only Be No Fun Here, wrapping up the main deck. Down here in the extra deck, we have triple Unchained Soul of Rage. Now remember, you have the best floatability, but your extra deck says a different story. Your extra deck is going to be capitalized on basically using your opponent's monsters to make big Exceed monsters. Because literally, during your opponent's turn quick effect, target a face-up special summon monster on your opponent's field. Immediately after the effect resolves, you get to link summon a Dark Link monster, except for another copy of this, which means you can make a Unicorn here and then spin something on the opponent's field. It's actually pretty good. Then we have triple Anguish here, triple copies of Big Unchained, and then frickin' 3 Access Machines, wrapping up this chunk of deck list for you guys. So what do you guys think about these decks? Please leave a comment below. Tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later and do some more cool awesome content. Peace out, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.